I thought long and hard about what I was going to talk about today because there is simply so many things there that have happened since I gave my first SAM talk on August 16th of last year. I've since hosted countless group practice sessions, become a CSS myself, and with that further deepened my understanding of the neuroscience method. Since it took me longer than most to become a PWSS person who has stopped stuttering, I had plenty of time to be confronted with and eventually overcome a litany of challenges. I now see this as a positive, even a blessing. If you find this hard to do on your own, reach out to a friend. We have a community filled to the brim with some of the kindest, most loving, and empathetic people you'll probably ever meet. No one can stutter for me. I think doing this consistently for a couple weeks changed something fundamental in my brain when it comes to my speech. It solidified the fact that there is always an alternative path, no matter the pressure level. No one is ever forcing our hand or our lips. When you are hit with that anxiety, that pressure, that block, and you manage to grab a crutch and pull yourself out of the mud by sheer force of will, that's awesome because you did that actively. If that's not worthy of celebration, I don't know what is. We all have different starting points, different challenges we face on our way up the fluency ladder. But with enough patience, persistence, perseverance, all will reach the top eventually. Comparing yourself with others will not do you any good. Comparison is the thief of joy, as they say. It's always you versus you.
What would your advice be to someone who's at the point where they have become to accept their speech the way it is and have just given up on improving?
Well, I would say I was at that point, and I would just tell that person to take a look at some of our Stop Stuttering stories because it is possible and it's worth it. I know it's hard to hold on to that hope, but it's absolutely worth it. I feel so much freer than I used to feel. Even in those 2 or 3 years when I tried to accept it, it's night and day difference. My quality of life is through the roof.
Noah. You know, I think you're an amazing man. I've been on this program a year, and Noah is one of the reasons I'm still here. You just offer me help so much through everything. When you have a severe stutter and you're struggling, and the heartache is a long time. If there's any new member here, they may be, new enough, but still on the program and are still struggling, but comparing themselves to others. What would you say to them right now?
Don't lose hope and keep trying. And I experienced it myself. It's hard when you keep falling off the wagon. It's tough to get up and keep going. Grasp at in that moment of feeling low would be to reach out to someone in the community.
Yeah.
I have done so as well, and I think this can help to kind of shift the perspective and reframe some of the negative thinking spirals that may be going on that moment. Just make use of the community, reach out to someone, maybe join a practice session. It has for sure helped me a lot, also in terms of the mental state. And listen, this is a mental game after all, right?
Everyone loves your practice sessions. You make everyone feel at ease, and that wonderful smile is just so good. Thank you so much.
How was your speech earlier before coming to us? And the second question is how you feel now and you tackle the difficult situations if you keep the stammers coming on. And the third question is as personal. If you want to answer, you can answer this. So the question is how you maintain your long hairs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ankit. My speech earlier used to be quite terrible. Um, if you If you take a look at Coach Lee's YouTube channel, you can find a couple clips. In that first coaching with Lee, that was 75% of as bad as I could get. And yeah, like I would be a complete shutdown blocker, body contortions, facial contortions. I I did the whole palette kind of. Um, and now that that burden is gone, I feel light. That's the probably the best way I can describe it. I have one less thing to worry about. I finally have time to do all the things that I want to do and don't have to occupy myself with worrying. And when it comes to my long hair, listen, I it's relatively low maintenance, right? I use shampoo and conditioner, wash it every once in a while. Nothing special here, folks. Thank you for your
Thank
question.
you.
You sounded like Coach Lee here. All the tips, no one is compelled to speak or stutter. We have the control to speak fluently.
Thanks to you, I learned about this program, and I probably would not have heard about it if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much. I think your Sam Talk should be mandatory viewing for anyone who just joins the program. To someone like you now, who you sound so good, and you just said so many good things, but they have trouble seeing themselves do it, or they reevaluate every day. Every day, is this going to work for me? Do I believe? And for good reason, because of maybe failures in the past. But I would just like to add, give it a period of time. Say, I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to do what the program says for 60 days, 90 days. Give it a real chance without questioning it. And invariably, you will be happy with the results. So,
first off, let's acknowledge Noah for how talented he is. All right. He, one, looks like a rock star, sings like an angel, and in addition to all that, he is a wordsmith with metaphors and analogies and all kinds of beautiful language. That was a well-written speech. It was delivered perfectly, and I just want to tip my hat to you. You have become a leader, like within this community, over the past 2 years. You went from a guy that could barely talk to a guy that is now leading practice groups and coaching people and changing lives, like Tara from Ireland, among other people. What was the moment that you finally embraced the idea that, hey, I am no longer a PWS, but I am a PWSS?
I wrestled with it a long time, and it took so much convincing from Pratusha, and she was giving stuttering therapy to me at that time. It took a lot of convincing and reframing things so my brain would accept it and see, yeah, she's got a point. I think what it took for me was to accept that this not does not mean perfect speech, and that this also does not mean that I am free from ever having to rely on a single crutch or speech plan, that it just means that I am able to manage any situation without appearing to be a person who stutters. And that's what it's all about. When I was able to make that reframing happen, that's when I could accept it.
Why don't we uh, stutter when we sing?
Why we don't stutter while we sing? Yeah, I mean, I am not a neuroscientist or anything. I just know that it's a different focus. I think one part of it is that our focus shifts from our words and the anxiety tied to those words over to our message. When we sing, we're focusing on saying it or singing it like we mean it. Then there's also the component of holding your tone through all of your words as you speak. There are probably more things, but those are the reasons that I can relate that.
If you never had this turned in your life, do you think your musical skills wouldn't be as good as they currently are.
It was a huge resource. I do think it saved my life multiple times when it was just a way to prove to myself, hey, I can actually still express myself in the way that I want to. Maybe in tough moments, not through speech, but whenever I got that guitar in my hand and I'm singing, I what I put in is what comes out, right? What I want to do just comes out the way that I want to. And also from a physical sense, it was really relaxing to sing because when you're talking like this the whole time, it does something to there's a lot of pressure, a lot of tension. And I for sure spent more time than most teens at that age at home practicing my guitar, not really socializing. So my skills definitely improved because of my experiences with stuttering.
During your speech journey, what was the hardest thing that you came across or that you found really difficult to do?
I think the hardest part in grand terms was just maintaining the hope and keep getting up. In terms of individual challenges, I do think that speech, that kind of roadblock, maybe I called it, that I mentioned with me feeling like I'm doing my hardest, feeling like I was on train tracks. That lasted for a while, probably a couple months. And that time was probably the most grueling for me because it felt like I was just banging my head against the wall the whole time until I finally realized, okay, let's stop with our heads and reach for a tool. Yeah.
You mentioned that you had your first SAM talk last August. Has anything changed since then with you practicing the 1, 2, 3 punch? And if there's any steps that you are taking to not relapse?
In terms of the 1, 2, 3 punch, I've been pretty consistent with it. I think what has changed is what I actually like, how I go into a situation. Nowadays, I don't really have to think of the individual parts of my speech plan or a crutch. That is automatic. I think it has shifted from a mechanical thing towards how can I feel confident in that situation? How can I enter this situation feeling my best that I can and feeling confident because I know that when I'm in that confident mode, my speech plan will work perfectly. It has become more about maintaining that angle of it and not so much a mechanical thing through using a certain crutch or anything.
I'm so proud of you. Just looking back where you began this journey and seeing you speak like a pro today, your hard work has played a vital role. You never gave up. You always believed in this program, and that's something, crucial to where you are right now. So when you joined this program, there would be certain things that you did on a daily basis, right? To to become actually fluent, right? So I just wanted to know what were they, and also which resources in this program actually helped you. Was it a group practice session? Was it the therapy sessions?
First of all, thank you so much. And speaking of vital, your one-on-one therapy sessions were so vital for me. I would not be here without them. I also do think the group practice sessions were very meaningful. And I think the community enabled me to keep going, right? So those three things are an additional 1, 2, 3 punch, kind of. Of course, I did everything literally by the books or by the book. I did my reading aloud very religiously. I did the mind training. I used the crutches. Yeah, and I just made use of every other resource that the program had, and yeah, threw things at the wall, and yeah, seems to have worked.
Noah, my man, you have me fired up. You sounded beautiful, smooth, confident. The amount of progress you've made since starting your speech journey here honestly inspires me so much. It's the type of progress you can't possibly fake. You know, you are a testament that this program is the truth. Coach Lee is the truth. So I just want to say if there is any skeptic here with us right now, wake up, follow the program, follow Noah's footsteps, and take control of your speech. That's all I wanted to add.
Thank you so much, Morris. Love it. Thank you so much for your very kind comments.
Words to live by indeed. Thanks, Morris.
Kaushik, thank you again. Would you please close our meeting?
I hope that you enjoyed exchanging thoughts with ex-stutterers and those fast becoming ex-stutterers. I will now end with our motto. If you can say one word anywhere, anytime, you can say and love to say any word, anywhere, anytime. Until next Saturday, have a great weekend.
Unlock your voice with StopStutter.